would not close. By dawn the fishes left their morays. By dusk the temples barred their doors. The elders named it omen ended. Punishment or distant war. But the infants born that season never saw a single moon. They opened both their eyes beneath division and learned to count by two. Two shadows in the courtyard, two gleams on every blade, two pale hands that crossed the marshlight and altered how the night was weighed. Hush now, split board, cradle of the broken white. You were given double silence, double witness in the night. Sleep under severed brightness, grow where older meanings fail. For the sky you call familiar is the sky that taught your elders grief. The old ones watch for reconciliation, for one clean spin to mend its face. They charted angles, braided low tide, measured silver on the lace. But year by year the halves kept drifting, near enough to haunt, too far to heal. And children laughed at grown men weeping for a circle they had never stayed. They played strange games in the reed alleys, choosing which moon ruled the hour. They gave each fragment private tempers, private hungers, private vows. One was named for attendance questions, one for all that must divide. When both stood high above the headlands, no child dare fear the light. Hush now, split board, cradle of the broken white. You were given double silence, double witness in the night. Sleep under severed brightness, grow where older meanings fail. For the sky you call familiar is the sky that taught your elders grief. And then from those children came new calendars, new funeral songs, new orchard rites, new ways to mark an oath as binding only when sworn beneath both lights. They said time did not flow in circles, they said no cycle closes clean. They said all things become by halves first, then learn whether they can convene. The old priests called them heretics, the navigators called them wise. For the split born crossed bad weather by reading difference in the sky. One girl met the homeland under aftermath.